Hey YouTube, welcome back to my review. This video is a continuation of my previous review, and I was interrupted by a phone call. So like I said, I had a friend who wanted me to try the touchscreen. I was describing how this touchscreen is adequate, but it isn't as good as the iPad touchscreen. Also, in terms of speed, this is probably one of the fastest tablets you can find for those currently manufactured by China that you can get for less than $100. Still though, it's not as fast as the iPad 1. The iPad 1 uses the same processor, but it uses two of these processors. iPad 1 is a dual-core ARM Cortex-A8. This is a single-core ARM Cortex-A8 processor, even though this has 4 times the amount of RAM as the iPad 1. So if you're going to buy one of these, consider first that this is going to be slower than almost any of the tablets you've used. It's not going to be tremendously slower, but it's still going to be noticeable if you're used to a faster speed. For me, it really doesn't matter because I just wanted something to carry around and that could do everything that it needed to do. I could Skype, and this Skype isn't just sound Skype. This is also video Skype. Now, if you're going to get this, if you're going to Skype, you probably want to plug in earphones here, somewhere around the side here. Otherwise, it's going to be so soft that you basically can't hear the person talking to you at all. This goes to anything else you want to do with the audio. The audio is just absolutely atrocious on this. The speaker is horrible, and the speaker is over here. It's hard to see it, and it's just one speaker. So if you're going to get this for the speaker, you're not going to get this for the speaker yet. So if you're going to listen to music, you have to plug it into that little mic, or to that earphone slot. Well, I'm not really sure what else to talk about. The negative stuff. The negative stuff is it doesn't have an AC adapter. It doesn't have an AC charging port, so you have to charge it through USB. Otherwise, you could buy a USB to AC adapter. The battery life is not as good as the iPad, of course. And the battery is non-removable like the iPad. This goes for 5 hours or so on a single charge. The iPad goes for about 10 hours. The benefit is that this one charges through the USB, which means you can buy an external battery for it. The touchscreen is good, it's okay, but not as good as the iPad. It does what you want it to do. Sometimes it is unresponsive, especially on the internet. And frequently when I'm clicking on the internet and I'm trying to close it, it's like I have my finger on the X, but it's not closing. So you have to wait a while and then click it again, so that's kind of annoying. The Wi-Fi isn't as good. It's like a cheap Wi-Fi connection. It's good if you're sitting right beside your modem or your router right there. But if you're far away, it's not very good. I'm not sure about the exact distance it would work at, but I know it's not very good. It has a 4 GB hard drive space, so it's quite limited with that. But I have a micro SD card in there, so that takes care of that. That's mainly what you have to worry about. People say this is a bad tablet. They must have very high expectations for what a tablet should do, because to me this seems pretty good. I must have been used to using this thing because this thing is a 300 megahertz processor. This thing is 1 gigahertz. It's a 1 gigahertz single core, so the only thing that's limited is the core speed, the processing speed. So everything about this tablet is basically a toned down version of not everything, but the speed wise, most of the stuff in here is like the toned down version of Apple's iPad, or I've never tried a Google Nexus or anything like that. It's faster than the Nexus 1. I think it's the Nexus 1. So if you're a Nexus 1 user, you'll notice that this one's faster, but most things are compared to most tablets we have today, it's slower. If you want to know about the Antutu, or it's like a benchmark processing thing, a benchmark what is it called? Benchmark application. The benchmark application score for this is around 2,200 to 2,400. So it's not very high, but it's it's adequate. So if you're going to buy this with the expectation that it's going to be super fast and you could do everything, well, this can do everything um, that any Android 4.0 can do, but if you're expecting this to be super fast, then you'll be disappointed. If you expect the touchscreen to be perfect every time you touch it, like nearly all the iTouch phones I've tried, then you'll be disappointed. But if you want this to do everything something else that your iPhone can do, but at a slower pace, but not too slow, then you'll probably be adequately satisfied. And which is what I am satisfied of this thing. And so I've been getting comments that this thing is no good or this thing sucks. First of all, you have to check the make and model, because you might have a Craig tablet, but it might be a different model than this. This is the CMP 741E, and it's the newest model. It was released in July, I think. So if you have the CMP 741B, you might be disappointed because it's kind of sucky. Or if you have a tablet with those the 800 MHz processor, WM85 or A650, then you'll also be disappointed. If you're going to say that this thing is too slow, then you'll have to then it's really just saying that the iPad 1 is too slow, because even though this is a little bit slower than the iPad 1, it isn't significantly slower than the iPad 1. Yeah, other than that, I'm not sure what else to cover. So, bye.